Kamusta na kayo?
Hola, hola, everyone.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nico
And
Blitz.
I'm Jackie Ramirez.
And this is the Mexipino podcast, episode 39 in the building.
Woo!
What's good,
Dang.
everybody? And I think our main topic for the day is actually extremely fitting over here in San Francisco because it is raining like crazy. The forecast today looks like under 49 degrees Fahrenheit with a huge chance of rain.
100%. You're
Or
supposed to do a
100%.
percentage.
Sorry, this is clearly why I could not be a newscaster or anything like that
A
anymore.
weatherman.
Well, see, I don't even know. No, actually, the correct term is meteorologist.
Meteorologist.
Yeah, even though weather people don't necessarily look for meteors, so I'm not entirely sure why it's called a meteorologist.
Never mind. Never mind. We're not going to get into that.
But we've had a crazy, fun-filled, packed weekend. I've been DJing since last Thursday, and I just ended yesterday on Halloween. And I'm
Yeah,
tired.
I could tell.
And
Uh,
Jackie actually flew over here from Los Angeles.
yeah, I flew in Saturday, left Monday morning. Um, and I feel like I was drunk for a full 36 hours.
Same here. We basically celebrated Jackie's birthday a little bit early. So as soon as she landed, we went to this restaurant called Flights over in Burlingame, California. And Jackie definitely took flight.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I don't have any recollection after we left the restaurant.
Well, to kind of refresh your memory, babe, there was a lot. Shout out to that lady. Shout out to our waitress because she was giving us drinks. She was doing a whole bunch of stuff that I was like, man, like
She gave me a full kid's cup of tequila like on the house, and I was like,
was like, girl,
"Ma'am, I'm not gonna drink this. I don't know why you giving it to me."
like y'all, it was a lot. Like we all looked at it like I can't believe she gave us this one. It probably would have been, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 shots worth. It was a lot.
Yeah,
It
it
was a
was a
lot.
lot. It was a lot. I just feel like throwing up thinking about it.
Yeah. And then, it kind of just went downhill from there.
Yeah, we won't get into detail. It
Yeah,
just
we
went
won't get into
downhill.
details, but we did end up doing the Pokemon rave this past Sunday too, and I was very happy.
It was a
Jackie
success.
knew I was extremely nervous DJing that day.
I knew you were nervous too because you were wearing your headphones while DJing. You normally don't wear your headphones while DJing anymore.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't fully prep like a DJ set because I was just worried about getting people through the door. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave the DJing up to like Vincent, Kizza, and also Josh. So when I went on, I just felt like a brand new DJ, and I was like, yo, I don't know how I'm supposed to do like straight EDM for a live crowd for like an
For an hour.
hour. Like I can do it on Twitch because it's very, chill. But with a crowd, I'm over here just like, dude, I need everyone to freaking like rage or something. I don't know. How did I do for
No,
my first EDM set?
I think you did really good. I think you ended up playing it safe sometimes when you would go back to like hip hop and like,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew you were running out of songs to play when you were like, when you did like two or three songs of like hip hop. And I was like, babe, I was like, I kind of nudged Nico. I was like, babe, maybe you should go back to EDM because this
Oh,
is an EDM event.
well, to be fair, Josh Chillman Gun, he gave me a Pokemon edit of Blow the Whistle, and he called it Blow the Pika. So
Oh,
he went,
sick.
"What's my favorite word? Pika." But then the Pika wasn't like hella loud, so then people didn't even hear it. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, I knew what you were trying to do, and I knew what was supposed to happen, but you couldn't hear the Pika.
I know. It's okay though. But we had fun. And you know who had a lot of fun actually was my sister Sabrina, who's just super into hip hop. And so I guess what had happened was throughout the night, um, she was just like, yeah, singing along to like the songs that she knew. I think her favorite song of mine that I ended up playing was like this EDM version of I Want It That Way. And so I come back home the next day, and then my mom's like, hey, like, your sister Sabrina had so much fun listening to EDM. Like she was surprised on how much fun she had.
Well, see, the thing is, and I was talking to Sabrina too. She likes the music with she likes EDM music with lyrics.
That's like
She can't
me.
she can't do like just the sounds and the bass drops and everything like that. She needs to have lyrics. So that's why
Yeah.
when you started playing remixes of original songs, EDM version, she was just like, okay, I can get into this.
Yeah, she started liking it. Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. Cause that's really my realm of like EDM too. I want to sing to something. Like I don't always want to
Yeah,
even though my brain,
definitely.
yeah. It was fun though. What was also fun too was the fact that Jackie finally got to try Lucky Chances in Daly City.
Yes, and I ordered the Tapsi log, but then they didn't have any more, so they were like, I was like, okay, I'll just get a Loco Moco. Oh my
Yeah,
god, but yeah, it
yo,
was cool.
Jackie's been like she's been on my head about trying to finally have Lucky Chances.
Well, I've been on your head about trying to like do new things in general with you.
Yeah,
Because
no, we tried Lucky Chances.
Nico's the type of boyfriend or person in general just to be like he'll go somewhere with somebody, like his friends, or he already knows a spot. And I'm like, oh, like I want to try. He goes, yeah, we'll go. And we never go.
No, we ended up
Like
going, right? We eventually ended up going to Lucky Chances.
eventually after like 2 years of dating, guys. Like Nico is just like he doesn't take me places like where I want to try.
We tried Lucky Chances. Okay. To be fair,
Babe, after
it
two
did take
years,
okay, it did take 2 years, but we did go. But we
you
did
haven't
go.
taken me to the spot where you said that like there's like the cheese over here in K Town and Koreatown.
All right, we
You
could go.
haven't taken me. Babe,
Sangdang Nam. Oh no.
I've heard we can go like I've heard we can go like 100 times, and I'm not expecting to ever go in my life at this point. Like it's just like it sucks, low key.
Okay, we'll go. We'll go when I get back. Okay, but 1 out of 10, how would you rate Lucky Chances?
Off the Loco Moco I had,
Yes.
like a 7.2.
That was a 7.2. That Loco Moco you had was a 7.2. You want to
It was
compare that to the other Loco Mocos we've
the
had?
BB's is like top tier for me because I don't know. I don't know. No, the Loco Moco from Lucky Chances I would say is like a 6.2.
Okay, that sounds about right.
6.2.
Like
6.2.
all my
I just
Filipinos
needed hot
know.
sauce.
All my Filipinos know that the only reason why Lucky Chances is good is because it's open 24 hours. It is open late. Other than that, the food at Lucky Chances is extremely mid.
Oh,
And I've
okay.
been
Well,
there. I've
I
been there a
don't
lot. It's
I've
pretty
only been
mid.
there once. I've only been there once, and the one time I wanted to actually try like Tapsilog, and the one opportunity I was gonna get to try Tapsilog, they didn't have it. Like I have not tried Tapsilog. I've not tried Tapsilog. I've never tried a whole bunch of Filipino food because then again, Exhibit A, Nico, is the type of person who be like, yeah, we could try it. Yeah, we could try it. Never takes me to a Filipino food spot. And he was gonna say, well, because there's no good Filipino spots in LA. But I've been to the Bay how many times, and he hasn't taken me to a single Filipino food spot.
Okay, 7 Mile. Okay, introducing you to the Sisig at 7 Mile. I'm
Okay,
literally putting you in the
you
position where you have to duck out all the bad Filipino food.
your parents and your whole family says that 7 Mile is not like the best sisig.
And that's fine. They're entitled to their wrong opinion. All I know is 7 Mile got the best sisig in the city. And so it cuts out all the fat from going to all the whack ass like other spots.
Okay,
There's
but what
probably
about like
one other
Tapsilog? What if I want to try Tapsilog? Where do we go, babe?
we
What
could
if
have
I
just
want?
went to Chellog. Chellog's wasn't open, obviously, but we could go to Chellog's and they have like any sort of silog.
Nico says we can go to Cellos wherever that is because I don't know what that is,
It's up the
and we're gonna
street.
go in. We're gonna go 5 years into our relationship, so
No, we'll
I'll let
go.
you. I'll update you guys in 3 years.
We'll go though. We'll go. For the people who are like not privy to what this whole silog thing is, right? So Filipinos just like to put like a word in front of silog, and it's this type of food. So top silog would mean tapa, and then silog is basically like the what it's not the root word, it's like the end of the root word or whatever. But silog basically
I don't
means
know.
like no, like in English. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So my mom's coming in here like silog. So silog, at least to me and my friends, you would just apply it as like the egg and the garlic fried rice or the garlic rice. Yeah, my mom's looking at me like, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, I know. So silog is basically just egg with garlic rice and then the meat in front of it. So you can have long silog, which is longanisa, which is a sausage. You can
Oh,
have top
okay.
silog, which is tapa. You can have spam silog, which is just spam. And it's literally any sort of like meat product
So it
with
means like with rice and egg.
exactly. Silog is with rice and egg.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Corn beef
educated ladies and
silog.
gentlemen. Educated ladies and gentlemen on
Yeah.
CLOG.
If there's anything I know, it's about the food, man. It's about the food. But a couple days later, now it's officially November 1st, when we are recording this podcast, and it is officially Day of the Dead starting tomorrow.
Yes, so November 2nd is Day of the Dead, which I didn't know Filipinos actually celebrate Day of the Dead too.
Yeah, we do.
I did
We
not
very
know
much
that.
do.
But yeah, Day of the Dead is kind of like a huge deal for Latin American cultures and especially like Mexican cultures since it originated in Mexico. Um, and it's a really big deal for me and my family ever since 2014, really. um, But I wanted to like talk about really quickly. I want to talk about misconceptions about Day of the Dead first,
Well, why
because
don't tell everybody what Day of the Dead is if they don't know what it is.
well, that's where I'm leaning
Oh,
to.
okay.
If you'd let me just take control. Um, Day of the Dead is one of the most important celebrations in Mexico and most Latin American countries. Uh, It is to honor our loved ones who have passed on to the spirit realm, and um, in turn, Day of the Dead is also to kind of honor their memory, in setting up altars, decorating their graves, urns, anything like that, to kind of help. Excuse me, to kind of help their spirits come back and visit us. Um, that's basically what Day of the Dead is. And there's different levels of how to celebrate Day of the Dead. But I think super quickly, like, I think Day of the Dead has become more mainstream within many cultures now, as of recently, just because of the movie Coco. So I think the Disney Pixar movie Coco, really shed a light on Day of the Dead, and it did a really amazing job. Granted, there are some things that aren't fully like required of Day of the Dead, that they made it seem required, but overall the representation in Coco was just spot on. And I think because of that, a lot of different cultures were like, okay, we want to do that too. We want to honor our loved ones. And I think it gave a lot of people the opportunity to celebrate and be aware on how not to appropriate it.
Mm.
So, if that makes sense. But super quickly, anyway, I want to talk about misconceptions about Day of the Dead. So, Day of the Dead is not the Mexican version of Halloween. It is not the Mexican version of Halloween, so let me put that out there. It started in 1800 BC. So, our ancestors back then, they would do the same thing that we do here. But hold on. I hear my dog. Oh no. Okay. But anyway, um, obviously back then, something that people think is required is to set up pictures of those who have passed on, and it's actually not required. So your altars, while you can totally put pictures up, you are not required to put a picture up because it's more of the memory that you have of your loved one. Does that make sense?
So it's basically what stuff that symbolize the memory of the person that you're thinking of. So you don't
Because if you
have to
think
have a photo.
you don't have to have a photo because if you think about it, in 1800 BC, there was no photos. There
It's
was
true.
no
Yeah.
like, so their altars consisted of just things that were, put in memory of their those who have passed. And Dia de los Muertos, another misconception, it is not scary nor is it morbid. Um, there's no pictures of ghosts, witches, devils, evil spirits, or anything like that. Again, Day of the Dead is a celebration of life and to help those who have passed in the spirit realm cross over to the real world again. So that's really it. And it doesn't celebrate death. Again, it just honors our loved ones. I think that's like a really big like thing where people think like, oh, just because there's people that are do their makeup dressed like a skeleton, which in Spanish it's a Catrina or Catrino. They think that it's just an evil thing that we're celebrating and like we're celebrating death and this and that. It's like no, we're just honoring our loved ones. So
Wait,
that's that.
what's a Katrina or a Katrino?
A Catrina or Catrino is those people and those little like sugar skulls of skeleton-ish figures.
Yeah.
So those are Catrinas and those are Catrinos. Basically, it's just kind of oh, it's just it's just like a skeleton. That's the best way I can put it. A skeleton. And you can dress up as a skeleton. You can paint your face. You can do all sorts of things. So yeah, that's a Catrina and a Catrino.
Okay. Do you know where the painting, like, so I did think before dating you that Day of the Dead was more of like a spooky thing. Also, Coco came
Mm.
out, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this really is just like a celebration of some sorts, right? But like, where does all the face painting come from? Like,
From my understanding, the face painting comes in like I said, all of this is just a celebration. It's to also to not make people afraid. you know if people see something that is just decoratively beautiful and like Catrinas and people who dress up like Catrinas, they have these elaborate dresses, they have these beautiful colorful makeup while looking like what some would deem as a skeleton to be scary. Then it's like no, it can be something beautiful. I don't have to be scared of it. I can embrace it rather than run away from it.
mm,
So that's where I would, and then also too, from what I've learned too, and if people think that I'm wrong, this is how I grew up thinking, and knowing. It's also so that when your loved ones do cross over from the spirit realm, they can recognize you. They can come up to you and not be scared.
mm, okay, that makes sense. So I guess it's just really to, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I guess to just normalize and celebrate the dead as opposed to making people scared of them.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it. That's how I see it. That's how I was raised, and that's how I interpret it. Again, I may be completely wrong, or somebody might have a different impression of it, but that's how I grew up.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's that. And then obviously with Day of the Dead comes altars, and Altars are, in case you guys don't know, they're called ofrendas in Spanish. They're literally translates to offerings.
Mm-hmm.
So offerings of things that your loved one that make you remember your loved one, you put up on an altar. However, there's levels of altars.
What does that
So
mean?
so like so an altar can have up to 7 different levels of like okay. What I mean by that is like in the movie Coco, they had a huge altar, and that's because um they had so many ancestors. But there's different things to put on an altar that that are the levels, if that makes sense. So it's not necessarily how big the altar is, it's what you put on the altar that are the levels.
Okay, so what do the levels symbolize?
Okay, so the first level would be, hold on, give me 1 second. The first level would be fire. So you put fire on an altar in the form, more than likely in the form of candles.
Okay.
So you light the candles stay lit. The candles symbolize love for our loved ones. So that's what stays on the altar. The next one is paper. So paper usually comes in the form of papel picado, which means picado means like picked at paper. But it's like it's like one of the more like decorative pieces of paper that you see. They have like intricate like designs in them. They're very, very thin paper.
Okay.
And you put that up. It's like tissue paper. That's what I was looking for.
Got you.
Tissue
Okay,
paper.
okay.
So they are representation of the papel picado is a representation between union of life and death.
Hmm.
And so yeah, they're more than likely just very bright colors. There are all different types of colors. There's like yellow, purple, green, blue. If you see them, you'll recognize them. Just think about like the movie Coco.
Oh, okay. Is it the papers kind of like hung up by string too?
Yes,
Okay, I know
yes.
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. So then that's like the second like offering that you can put on an altar. The third one are flowers and incense. Incense are placed on an altar to purify the souls, to purify the spirits. That way, when they do cross over, it's good intention. Flowers, the most important flower to Day of the Dead are marigolds. Mar-
Marigolds?
Marigolds. If you go to a cemetery, if you go and see any like street vendor that sells flowers around this time, their buckets are filled with marigolds because marigolds are the pathway to our real world.
Oh, so just like even in the movie Coco where they had like that bridge of just flowers, those were all marigolds.
Those are all marigolds. Are you looking it up right
I'm
now?
looking up what I mean, I just want to see what marigolds look like. Oh, okay, okay.
So in Spanish, marigolds are maravillas. Yes,
Yeah, these
exactly.
are the marigolds right here if you guys are looking at it on YouTube. They're kind of like well, yeah, they're gold.
Yeah, but in Spanish, they're called maravillas, and maravillas means like wonder and marvel, and just because they're so beautiful, they're so beautiful. And normally, what you do is you pick at the marigolds. You can put like a bouquet on an altar. You can put a bouquet on a grave, on a wherever. But normally, what people do too is they put them in the form of a cross.
I've
They
seen that.
so
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've seen that.
So, and that's what my mom and my family does on our altar on my grandpa's gravesite. And we even create a little pathway outside the house.
Oh, okay.
So that
So
way, any of our
yeah.
spirits or loved ones, and I say my grandpa, but we do have others on our altar. That way, in case they do and their spirits do want to come and visit us, they can find their way in.
Okay. So that being said, I like how Coco drew it up per se, right? Because I
Yes.
think if, for me, right, when I first watched Coco, I'm just trying to like learn everything. And then you might see, flowers on a bridge, not knowing that they're marigolds and be like, okay, this is obviously supposed to be like the imagery of the bridge between the real world and I was gonna say the death world, like
No, the spirit
heaven, yeah,
realm.
the spirit
The
world, so to
spirit
speak,
realm.
right? So, and then in real life, using the marigold as like the bridge, it's all making sense. And then even
Mhm.
for me, like with the lights being on the first level of the altar, would you kind of say that that's also a light for the spirits to follow?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Everything is very intentional with altars. And yes, the marigolds are like the big flower of like Day of the Dead, but other flowers symbolize things too. So like white flowers, they symbolize the sky. They symbolize heaven, they symbolize purity.
Mm.
And purple flowers are like it's like I wouldn't call it like the official color. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Traditional.
Okay,
It's
okay.
more of the traditional color of mourning in Mexico.
Oh,
Purple.
okay. Sorry,
Purple.
my brain went to like morning, like sun
No,
coming
no,
up.
no,
Oh,
no. Like
morning,
like
like death.
grieving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
grieving. Yes.
Okay,
So you can put different like colored flowers, but marigolds are like maravillas. They're the flowers.
okay. So would that? I think outside from like the sky. So if I was someone who was still mourning over a death, then I would
Hmm.
put purple flowers on the
Yeah.
altar.
And you
Okay.
can still do that. You can still do it either way. You can put all those types of flowers on an altar.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, everything has a different meaning. So the marigolds are in yellow is supposed to just help the spirits guide their way back to you.
Okay. And then for you know what? It's so cool about that too because it's also a form of communication. So like if, traditionally like these are what these things mean, like gold is like, hey, we're welcoming you back in, and
Hmm.
purple's like, hey, we're still mourning over your death, and white I wouldn't necessarily know how to symbolize white. Maybe it's just like a neutral, type of
It represents the
situation.
sky. I like to think it represents heaven.
Okay. So,
I like
well,
to
okay,
think that.
maybe at peace then. Maybe like,
Yeah,
you're at
could
peace with
be at
everything.
peace.
So like, if I'm a spirit and I'm following, my way back home on like Dia De Los Muertos, it's like at that point, without having to verbally communicate, which obviously cannot do, it's
Hmm.
like you're able to witness how your family is feeling towards you.
Absolutely. And that's what that's what this whole thing does too, I think, is like you may like I'm not saying that
Mm.
this is real or fake, these spirits and everything like that. I like to think it is
Yeah.
because that's how I cope. That's how I just feel like I'm still connected to my
Yeah.
loved ones. Um, but this is my way of letting them know, like, I haven't forgotten about you. I may not visit every single one of you as
Hmm.
often as I should, but I'm still honoring your memory every day that I can. And especially on this day where I feel like the most, the most, like, how can I put this? I'm honoring you on the day that I feel like if you are and if this is real, you'll be here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I totally get that. Well, you do something for your grandpa every year though, as
yeah,
part of like the altar.
so that's where I'm getting to on like the levels of altar because there's
Okay.
still more.
Oh no,
Um,
keep on going through the level because we went through like what 3 or 4 right now, right?
we went through four, about
4.
four. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're on level three, but that like we did like four
Yeah,
general
yeah.
things. Um, So the next level is water. Water is placed on an altar just to kind of quench the thirst of your spirit ones uh, to from their journey from the spirit world into this world.
Okay. Quick
Salt.
question.
Oh,
Could you
mhm.
put alcohol or is it just water?
You can put alcohol.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you can put alcohol.
I was just wondering.
No, you can put water and alcohol. Some people just put alcohol, some people just put water. But
Yeah.
even at cemeteries, you'll probably see like a beer bottle or a tequila bottle on a gravesite, and that's their
Got
offering.
you. Got you.
Um, salt is usually placed on an altar to rid bad spirits of trying to intercept your loved ones.
Salt?
Salt.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know. I
Um,
definitely didn't know that.
it's to prevent our loved ones who are coming through with good intention to be corrupted by an evil spirit.
Okay.
So
Got you.
that's why the salt is there. The next level is banquet. So this is something that I do for my grandpa every year. It's food. Traditionally, you bring food and offerings of whatever it is that your loved one had like really liked or just like really cared about. So my grandpa really liked these cookies, like these like Mexican cream cookies, and my mom already has it on the altar. My grandpa also loved M&Ms, so we put M&Ms on the altar. And something my grandpa really liked was a burrito from King Taco, which is
Woo!
a, a restaurant, Mexican restaurant here in LA. Um, and he always got the same burrito and always got red salsa with it. So something that I've been doing every year since my grandpa has passed is I get his burrito. And I've never missed it. Even if it's the day of, I make sure I go and get it. And yesterday it was actually super funny. So I don't know why. I don't know why, but today is November 1st. And I don't know why. I knew yesterday was Halloween, but I also kept on thinking that today, November 1st, was November 2nd. I don't know why. So I went to King Taco yesterday and I got a burrito and I come home and I'm like, Mom, I got like grandpa's burrito. And she's all like, yeah, but it's not till the second. And I was just like, okay. And I looked at her like, all right. And she's like, yeah, it's gonna go bad. Tomorrow's the first. I was like, that's lovely. I love that for me. And then she's all like,
Get the burrito the whole day early.
yeah, I got the burrito a whole day early. She's like, you can put it in the fridge, and she goes, but it's gonna go bad. And I was just like, she's like, just eat it. I was like, but this is for grandpa. She goes, just eat it. Just go get another one like tomorrow or like the day of. And I was just like, okay. So I ended up eating my grandpa's burrito, and I'm gonna go get him another one. I need to go get him another one either today or tomorrow. But yeah, that's something we do for my grandpa. We have other loved ones on our altar, which are include my mom's uncle, my dad's uncle, or two of my dad's uncles, and a family friend who just passed this year, actually. So this
Mm,
is the first time he's being a part of our altar. Um, Now, granted, we may not know everything that they liked, but in turn, we put everything else on the altar to ensure that they know that they're also welcome.
got you.
So yeah. So for our family friend, we might put alcohol out because we that was something that we all bonded over was our family parties, and that's something that we did there.
I hope you guys put the what's the little cans that your Uncle Jonathan be getting from
The palomas,
yeah, the
the
palomas
new
from
mix palomas. Honestly, we have some in the garage. That's a really good idea. Maybe we
You
can
gotta
put
put
one
the
for
new mix
Serge.
palomas on the altar. Those are
That's
fire straight from Tijuana.
I'm sick. That's hella funny. And so the last bit of level of altar, which I just realized my family, we do all seven levels of the altar.
Mm,
Um, there's calaveras, which are calaveras means skulls or
skulls.
sugar
Yeah.
skulls. We have a lot of sugar skulls. I have quite a bit of sugar skulls in my room too. I collect them. My dad collects them. My mom collects them for the altar. But I just keep them in my room too. They are made of sugar or chocolate, and you can either keep them for the altar, like so the ones that my mom has for the altar, we keep them for the altar. But
Mm,
you can also, it's also a type of candy and like snack. So you can eat them after the celebration. Um, and they're an example to not, again, not be scared of death. You can have fun with it. You can, it's
yeah,
fun and enjoyable.
yeah.
So that those are calaveras.
It all of this kind of reminds me of a little topic that we brought up on last week's podcast where people would essentially celebrate the aswang. And so I was thinking about it throughout the week and I was like, why would you celebrate something that is, let's just say supernatural, scary or whatever, but it invites people to, celebrate for something that would otherwise be seen as, I don't know, I guess something dark,
Something
something
dark, something
eh,
scary,
something
something
scary, sad, like
morbid, you know.
yeah.
Um,
But we're Filipinos and Mexicans, so we know how to celebrate things in a positive way.
yeah, but I think it's such a beautiful thing that, like, this is one of my favorite holidays of the year.
Mm,
I I love it so much. And yeah, that I just love it. And then the last thing you put on an altar is a cross,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
this it obviously celebrates the cardinal points, everything like that, and your religion. Now you don't have to, but people do. My family, like I
Hmm.
said, we put the form of the cross in the marigolds.
So that also brings like an interesting question. I don't know if you have an answer to this, but like, I guess if you are, Mexican specifically, right?
Mhm.
And let's just say you're Buddhist, or something that's not of like that falls under like Catholicism or like Jesus Christ. I guess do you still celebrate Day of the Dead because like, and I know you might not have an answer to this, but like
Mhm.
because it's very it feels more like Catholic and Christian oriented, you know?
Yeah, and I get that, but I think it goes back to like what I said about the movie Coco.
Uh-huh.
It brought it up to so many different cultures that other cultures are like, okay, I want to do this and I want to learn about this. And I think that Coco did a very, very, very good job about teaching people um, about Day of the Dead in a way to, even if you're not Mexican, even if you're not of a Christian culture, Catholic culture, whatever, if you're not Mexican or Latin American or you're not Filipino, it allowed it allowed people to still do it and still honor their loved ones in a very appropriate way in understanding a different culture while
Mhm.
probably instilling their own in it. Who knows that somebody who is Buddhist might put a little Buddha on their altar, and that's
Yeah.
completely fine.
Yeah,
But
that's
as
true.
long as I feel like the levels, the what to do and what not to do, and you're not doing it for to be scary, if you're not doing it to conjure evil spirits, like
Yeah.
you're honoring loved ones.
Yeah.
And that's how I view it. Like I said, I don't, like you said, I might not have the answer, and I know I don't have the answer, but that's how I view it.
Yeah. It would be very interesting to, find I guess like a Mexican Buddhist. And then, you know what I mean? Just I mean that's just like something off the top of my head, but like, like see where they stand because it is like more I just personally feel like it's more like Catholic and Christianic like, leading with this
Mhm.
specific holiday. But I
Mhm.
mean, hey, I think at the end of the day as long as you are celebrating and honoring your loved ones who passed away, like I wouldn't see why this wouldn't apply to a Mexican Buddhist.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. But I feel like if you're not Mexican, if you're not Filipino, if you're not Latin American, if you're not Catholic, if you're not Christian or anything like that,
Yeah.
you can still do it. I've I I want people to do this, you know? I want people to feel that, like, because when you do this, for me at least, you feel that love, you feel that warmth of like, okay, I know that they're going to be here. And
Mhm.
yes, they might not literally eat a burrito off the altar, but in the spirit world, I like to think that my grandpa's enjoying it, you know?
Yeah.
In the spirit world, if we put tequila on the altar, I like to think that our family friend Sergio is having a shot with us, you know?
Yeah.
So I think no matter what you are, as long as you, it goes back to like when I was talking about Haley Bieber, as long as you appreciate the culture and not appropriate it, I
Mhm.
don't see a problem with it.
Amen to that.
I don't see a problem with anybody making their own altars.
Amen to that. Well, babe, I do have a real question though. This is a real
Yes.
question. Okay.
Okay.
So you obviously you get the burrito from King Taco, you put it on the altar, you put like all the alcohol and whatnot that you do.
Mm.
Do you with these I guess items that could go bad, do you eat the burrito? Do you throw away the burrito with the alcohol too? Like do you drink that alcohol or do you throw away that alcohol? Like
So, it depends. So, like, for the burrito, like, I will toss it, but I do, like, do a little sign of the cross before I toss it.
okay.
I do it.
Okay.
Um, like, the M&Ms, I know when one year my mom did eat them, so that was that. But yeah, I mean, it's no big deal.
okay.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I think just as long as it's the meaning behind it, you know?
Yeah. I just want
Um,
yeah. I just want to
yeah.
know because I'm just like, well, there's a whole burrito, so
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, but those items and, like, sometimes we put, like, a nice coffee too for my grandpa.
Mm,
Um, we just end up tossing that. But,
okay.
yeah, most sometimes we'll toss the items. Other items that, like, are packaged and sealed, we will, eat them.
Okay.
And then something else I did wanna talk about real quick is the pan de muerte. It was something that we also just put on the altar too. My mom literally just put a slice of the pan de muerte on my grandpa's or on our altar today. I don't
What
wanna
is
just
that?
say my grandpa's altar, it's everyone's altar,
Yeah.
but, um, it literally translates to, uh, bread of the dead.
Bread of the dead.
Yes,
Pan de
pan
muerte.
de
Okay,
muerte,
okay, okay.
yeah.
It's making
Bread of
sense.
death, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and the reason they call it that is because the way it looks is shaped to look like skeleton bones. There's, like, little bumps on the top, the
Mm,
way the dough rises, it looks like, um and you can have that with, like, coffee and hot chocolate, and it tastes really
nice.
good. But yeah,
Okay, okay. That's
and that's
nice.
not just and that pan de muerto is not uh, just sold during Dia de los Muertos, it's, like, sold year-round, but it's just called pan de muerte.
Is it a specific bread or could it be any bread?
It's a specific bread.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
So I didn't even know like Filipinos celebrated like Day of the Dead because I grew up here in San Francisco and fortunately we haven't had like deaths in my immediate family. And so we've never I guess like we haven't had like a reason to like really go to like, cemeteries as often as like most people do.
Mhm.
So I'm learning that the Philippines does actually celebrate this holiday. And because I don't have that much information on this from my personal experience, I do just want to go over how Filipinos do celebrate Day of the Dead. So step one, which is also called Araw ng mga Patay. Patay means dead. Araw means
Oh,
day. So
oh, okay.
Araw, day of it literally translates to day of the
Day of
dead.
the Dead.
So step one, as a Filipino, head to the cemeteries where you'll find just about everyone gathered. Most Filipinos have several non-working days before and after the November 1st holiday, so they may remain by their loved ones' graves overnight. Step two, they help the locals clean the graveyard. A few days before the Philippines Day of the Dead, families clear the weeds from around the grave or mausoleum. Some families also repaint gravestones or markers. Step three, expect to find family members perched on and between graves during the Philippines Day of the Dead holiday. Filipino cemeteries consist of more than just grassy fields with markers. Instead, you'll find large mausoleums, tombs, and even houses in the cemetery. Step 4, visit different cemeteries to see how the various cultures in the Philippines celebrate the Day of the Dead. While the holiday rates as the third most important behind Christmas and Holy Week for the entire country, each culture brings aspects of their own traditions. Step 5, make your way to the Chinese graveyard, sometimes also marked as the Chinese cemetery on tourist maps, in the Philippines' capital of Manila to see lavish shrines and mausoleums. Some of the grave temples in the Millionaire Row and Little Beverly Hills section of the graveyard feature running water, electricity, television, and bathrooms. And a few even have swimming pools.
Wow. I feel like
Yo,
honestly,
what?
I feel like that's what like in Mexico too. Like our cemeteries in Mexico, everything is like above ground.
Yeah.
And yeah, the way they decorate, the way yeah. Like see for me, like obviously it's different here in America because like we're underground.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but in Mexico and the Philippines, like they have like elaborate grave sites.
That's I mean, they got me with the swimming pools. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Well, I'm also scrolling through this article too, and other cultures have Day of the Dead as well. Just to quickly go over it, and this is me just scrolling right now, but apparently Haiti also celebrates a Day of the Dead.
Hmm.
Um, Brazil also has their own Day of the Dead.
Well, they are Latin American, aren't
Oh
they?
yeah, yeah, that's true. I guess I was very just like shook that Haiti also has it too. But that's cool. That's cool. I didn't know. I legitimately did not know until right now.
Isn't Haiti like
You're Haitian, yeah.
yeah, but like isn't that part of Latin America?
Haiti?
I don't know. Is it? Hold on.
No. Haiti baby. He's black.
Yeah, but still, you can be like with the Dominican Republic to its east.
It's in the Caribbean.
Mm, yeah,
Caribbean.
yeah, it
However you
is.
say it.
Side JK.
But that's cool. I mean, see, now
That's
you know.
cool.
Mexicans, Haitians, and Filipinos, we all celebrate Day of
And
the
all
Dead.
Latin Americans. And all
All
Latin
Latin
Americans.
Americans.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you guys learned something from this podcast of Dia De Los Muertos. Oh, wait, wait,
Yes.
wait. One last question.
Uh-huh.
Is it Dia de los Muertos or Dia de Muertos?
Dia de los Muertos.
Okay, because sometimes now I'm seeing like without like los.
Dia de
Sometimes
Muertos. You could Day of Dead, Day of the Dead,
all the same,
all the same,
more or
really.
less. Okay.
Kind of, yeah. But it's Dia de los Muertos in my eyes. And also, if you guys do celebrate Dia de los Muertos and you guys do put up altars, please like post it on your stories and tag us. We really want to see.
Oh yes,
Love seeing all the different types of altars. So yeah,
yes,
you guys
please
can
do.
tag us at Mexipino Podcast, and we'll repost your altars on our stories as well. So
That
yeah,
means you got to post the altar on our story too.
yeah, I definitely will.
Sounds good. Well, everybody, next week we're gonna talk about a couple things going on in November, and we're gonna lead into Thanksgiving in a couple of
Yes,
weeks as well. Once again, my name is Nico Blitz,
and I'm Jackie Ramirez.
and this is the Mexipino podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.